The legendary marksman heroes in Season 2 have been revealed. That's Ffraegar and also Syndrion. So in this video, I'm going to give you my initial impressions and review all of their skills and give you a sneak peek at some of the things coming in Season 2 of Call of Dragons. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming and I was really hyped to see in my beta account, that's the account I have in Server 2, 100% free to play, that we've now got access to Ffraegar and Syndrion, and I can show you exactly what skills they're going to have, and I can show you other Season 2 related events that you're going to be interested in checking out. So use the timestamps in the description of this video to navigate to whichever portion you are most interested in, and consider subscribing for daily videos designed to help you get value and smash your enemies in Call of Dragons. Now I'm just going to pull this up on my iPad, scroll all the way down, and the new archer heroes are visible. Let's start with Ffraegar and review her skills. Ffraegar is a marksman, peacekeeper, and mobility commander. But the thing that's a little bit weird about this hero is that she actually doesn't have skills committed to peacekeeping. This means that she's actually going to be really, really good to level up because peacekeeping talents are going to be really, really good at giving you bonus experience. I really like heroes that do this because you can work on leveling them up, get extra experience tomes, and then actually use them because you wanted to use them anyways. Now, Ffraegar is a normal attacker, which is also a little bit unusual. Let me explain. Her attack range is listed as very far. Now, I don't know if this is an error or not, but already this hero is very interesting because the very far designation is different than other marksmen. If we get a look at Syndrion, for example, he's listed as medium range. If we get a look at other marksmen in the game, like Nico, he's listed as medium range. If we look at another legendary marksman, Kanara, she's listed as medium range. So there's something kind of funky going on here with a marksman now having longer range, which is really, 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 really good, by the way. I will talk more about that in the pairings portion of who I think Ffraegar will be really good with, okay? But first, the skill itself. The range is very far. Deals hero skill damage to the target. That's physical damage, factor of 600, while granting Ffraegar's Legion normal attack focus, increasing their normal attack crit rate by 60% for 3 seconds. Now, that remains a 60%, but it goes up to 7 seconds of normal attack crit rate. Now, this is a little bit weird. I think Ffraegar is going to be insane for taking out behemoths. However, the downfall of a 7-second buff to yourself is that it kind of assumes you'll actually get value from 7 seconds. Most combat in this game is kind of hit and run. You don't always full commit to the enemy, so I much prefer, for player versus player combat, skills that front load all the damage the second the skill fires, and ideally it'd be doing area of effect damage, which this does not. So let's just continue on, okay? And the next skill. While in the field, so you cannot be in a resource node, you cannot be defending your city or a stronghold, but when you're in the field, your Legion deals 15% more normal attack damage and you gain 15% defense. I love this. I mean, obviously you are boosting your crit rate of your normal attacks, so boosting your normal attack damage is huge because when you crit, you'll do more damage. Love to see that combo. From there, third skill, all marksman units in Ffraegar's Legion gain 20% physical attack and 20% normal attack crit damage bonus. Wow. So not only do you make it so you crit a lot, but you get a crit damage bonus. This is really getting out of hand. And by the way, still 0 skills committed to peacekeeping. This is so unusual. The next skill. When Ffraegar's Legion launches a normal attack, they have a 20% chance to gain haste, increasing their march speed by 30%, which is great, and reducing the target Legion's rage accumulation speed by 20% for 5 seconds. You make the enemy gain less rage? That is insane. This hero is so strong. Now, some of these things like rage accumulation speed, I don't think that does anything to a behemoth. So I just finished saying how I think she's going to be amazing for behemoths, except this doesn't work on behemoths, but whatever. And then the next skill deals Hero skill damage to the target. This is modifying your active skill. It increases the damage factor by 200, so it goes from 600 to 800, while increasing your normal attack focus, boosting the crit rate by 60% for 7 seconds. The only change is 200 damage factor. Is that really all? That's weird because her awakening skill's not doing much. So this is good news, bad news. The good news is getting her awakening skills actually not nearly as important as many, many, many other heroes. That's actually great news because it means that if you don't have her maxed, you still get a lot of value with her, and you're not missing some really critical component of how the hero works. In some cases, in Rise of Kingdoms, for example, the predecessor to this game, the game that this is based on, you would have heroes where getting the awakening skill was critical. It completely defined the way the hero operated, not the case here. So the beauty of this is that this hero will be good even when their skills are not maxed. And that is very powerful. Now, if you're wondering, where would I get this hero? They come from the lucky spins. So everybody can work on them, which is crazy. What would you do with this hero for pairing? Well, given that this hero, I believe, has a very far range, or that's just listed incorrectly, if that is true, then the hero you want to pair with is going to be Hosk, because Hosk has very far range. So on my whaled account that's over 70 million power, I probably will pair with Hosk, and Hosk is a normal attacker. I might even use Hosk primary, which sounds a little weird, but basically I want to be boosting my attack and hit points and damage dealt. Okay, this combo actually is really good, and the range is very far. I mean, there's actually no range. You can do this from any range. So if that's true, then I can use Hosk and Ffraegar, attack from a really, really long distance, and also I can leverage the precision tree and the overall tree from Hosk to boost my normal attacks a whole heck of a lot. Yeah, no, that seems really crazy. That's one way you might run the pair. Of course, marksmen you can just generally pair with each other, and they'll do well, like Nico and Kanara, but I don't think you'll be able to take advantage of the very long range that Ffraegar has. So, Ffraegar as a Season 2 hero is really powerful. Oh, and you might have noticed something a little funky. I just noticed it. And this is a little weird because she's standing on the ground. But hello, do you see the wings next to her name? Ffraegar is a flying hero. Now that changes everything. Because the other pairing you might do, if you've got flyers and you care about normal attacks, is to just pair with Thea. Okay, that seems really good. So you've got a tanky, high-range March? That's crazy, that can fly. Unbelievable. This makes Wilderberg, weirdly enough, with Ffraegar, possibly amazing. I don't know if that flying designation is right or not. I haven't unlocked it to test it myself yet on this account, but that seems crazy and good. Really crazy good. Going to be a very interesting combo to run. Now, wow. The only thing I'll say that's a little weird about that is that there's lots of good marksman artifacts, but Thea also has an artifact that's like specifically designed for her that does a lot of shielding. Without getting into all that weirdness, let's just give my impressions of the next hero here, which is Syndrion. Now, Syndrion's another marksman, and this is a rally hero. So, good news, bad news. Kind of like I was sharing earlier, except I'm so sleep-deprived from Rise of Kingdoms KVK battling, I kind of forgot the split of the good news, bad news. But the good news here is that this is a hero that most people can potentially skip because one of their skills is committed to rallying, and most people will never rally. So the bad news is that, hey, if you wanted to work on this hero, I don't know, like, do you want to? Bad news is if you do, one skill is committed to rallying. I'm getting ahead of myself, though. Let's get right to it. This is a medium-range hero. Syndrion's Legion gains Keen and Rapid Fire, increasing their attack by 20% and launching an additional normal attack every second for 3 seconds. So this is another normal attacker. And in that regard, I almost think you have to pair Ffraegar and Syndrion together, but he doesn't fly, and he only has medium range. So I don't think you take advantage of Ffraegar's long range, which is definitely a bummer. Now, in terms of what this skill is doing, I still feel like for player versus player combat, often targets run away. You leave range of the target for whatever reason. So this active skill kind of sucks if what happens is you use your active skill and then you need to run away, or they run away. So for player versus player combat, I'm very lukewarm on how this is going to go, and there's no area of effect damage. But for behemoths, these two seem cracked, insane together. Now, the second skill, as I was mentioning, is for cities and strongholds that you're attacking only. Well, you're almost never doing that in this game. So good news, bad news, as I was saying earlier. Good news is, well, maybe you don't need to work on this hero, right? The bad news is if you want to work on them, the second skill is committed to something you won't be doing most of the time. And so the weirdness here is that if you work on the skills on this hero, what you ultimately want to try to do is max the first skill, unlock the remaining skills, and then deploy your points, and they will go randomly between these last three, and you hope that they don't land over here. This is hard to do because, you know, there's a 1/3 chance you get a skill you don't want, and that really sucks. For example, on my main account, my Bakshi, I did the same thing. The second skill is Peacekeeping. Well, I'm using him for PvP. I don't care about Peacekeeping stuff, man. So I took him to max the first skill, 5, and then I unlocked the last 3 skills by leveling them up, and I also start them up, okay? And then I applied the remaining skill points, and they all randomly landed on the second skill, which really sucked for me. So GG, get wrecked is what it is. From here, let's look at the next skill on Syndrion. This is Feather Strike. All marksman units in Syndrion's Legion gain 10% normal attack crit rate. Okay, sure. And 15% HP. I love the HP boost. And the normal attack crit rate is insane with this hero because he does extra normal attacks. Insane. And then, next skill. For the first 1 second of battle, and the duration of this does boost, so we'll talk about this, but for the first 1 second of battle, Syndrion's Legion gains rapid fire and launches extra attacks every time they launch a normal attack. 1 second after battle begins, Syndrion's Legion gains 10% attack, lasting until the battle ends. So this basically is giving you the same thing that the active skill does, but it does it at the very start of the fight. I think this is cool, but I also think this is terrible. Let me explain. While this will boost the start of the fight, you generally, like, that's good for fielding. That's great for fielding. This is very good for fielding, but it's terrible for rallying. So this is another hero that has a weird identity crisis where one of their skills is committed to rallying, and rallying is kind of like a, hey, we'll be rallying you for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, and a pass, right? But this skill only benefits you for the first couple seconds? Man, it feels like an identity crisis here. Great, this is good for PvP. But again, just like Hosk has this mixed identity of being good for field and good for rallying, but because he's committing skills to things that don't work in both situations, he ends up being not as good as he could have been in just one thing. He's not specialized, okay? I much prefer when heroes min-max. They do one thing and they're just insane at it. Now, the Awakening skill. Every time Syndrion's Legion lands 5 critical hits from normal attacks, they deal additional hero skill damage to the target, physical damage factor 400. Wow. So Syndrion seems like you either pair with Hosk, who boosts your normal attack crit rate, or you pair with Ffraegar, who is also boosting your normal attack crit rate. But however you do it, you better get boosted normal attack crit rate. And I feel like the precision tree is really critical on Syndrion in order to really take advantage of very powerful normal attacks. That's what that tree does. So Syndrion is available from the Strongest Lord event, but he is also available from the event I teased at the start of the video, and I'll show that to you now, the Wheel of Destiny. So this becomes available for a small number of days, I believe at the start of your Season 2. And you can unlock Syndrion and Ffraegar, which is insane. Now, Ffraegar you'll get from the wheel. That's easy to do anyways. The reason you do this, the Wheel of Destiny, is you're trying to get Syndrion. That's the whole reason you do the Wheel of Destiny. If you don't think you can win the Strongest Lord, which is where Syndrion does show up, by the way, I believe I could show that to you. Is it in here? Actually, there it is. Yeah. Strongest Lord, right? The reason you do this event is because you think, hey, maybe I'm not going to win the Strongest Lord. I'm not even going to get the unlock of this hero, but I want him anyways for whatever reason. So you can go in and you can obtain these tickets. The first 10 are actually discounted, which is kind of cool. There is a Joy of Destiny bundle. I'll cover all of this in a separate video for this wheel event and how this works. I think you'll still get the regular Lucky Spin event, when that shows up on the second day of the Strongest Lord event. But the way this wheel works is kind of interesting. There's a limited number of prizes in each of these slots. So, for example, there are 6 of the gold medals. There are 12 of these wood tokens. There are 20 of the Season 2 legendary tokens, right? So when you drain any of these 1 spots on the wheel, they disappear and the probabilities shift for everything else on the wheel. Also, if you get the 4 premium prizes, that's the full unlock of each of these heroes that are listed in sort of each of the corners here, then you unlock the rest of the wheel. It says drawing all the premium rewards will also grant you any remaining prizes, which is kind of crazy. And I can show you the info button on this just so you can see the full details here, right? There are 2 types of prizes, the common rewards and the premium rewards. The common rewards are on the inside of the wheel. The premium rewards are on the outside of the wheel. Your chances of winning a prize depends on the amount of each prize in the wheel. Once you've drawn all the available prizes of a certain type, your chances of drawing all the other types increases because, I mean, there's one less thing you can draw from the wheel, so that's how that has to work, right? And you can spend 1 to 3 Destiny tickets per spin. Great. After you've emptied the wheel, you may exchange your remaining Destiny tickets, for resources. Oh, that's kind of gross, or speed ups. After the event ends, any unused tickets will be automatically exchanged. So you want to use these before the end of the event, and you actually don't want potentially to have extra of these tickets because, I mean, resources, like, bro, that's just not that exciting to me. And you can see the chances are not great at getting these heroes. So you're going to have to do a lot of spins. For a lot of people, they're just going to have to drain the thing, like get all the common rewards, and then eventually they'll just get the premium rewards as the number of prizes in the pool just kind of goes down. So that is how that works, the Wheel of Destiny. And this is all Season 2 stuff coming up. One other thing I'll tease for you in Season 2 is that there is a Riches of the Forest event where you can spend gems to get these particular artifacts. Now, I just maxed my dragon scale armor, so getting excess of that would be really kind of tragic. But the spring blades and the rattle spear look really cool. Spring blades, by the way, throws a blade that deals damage to 3 legions in a designated circle every 5 seconds before returning to the position. At max, this does, it's the 3 legions. And the artifact skill damage factor is 400. When returning, it deals damage to up to 3 legions in its path. And the damage factor, artifact skill damage, physical factor 2000, okay, when it's returning. And targets take 15% less damage per additional target. And there's a passive. When your legion gains passion, they also gain keen. That's attack of 30% for 5 seconds. Passion. I actually don't know what passion is. That's got to be a cavalry related thing because, obviously this is a cavalry item here. Gives you cavalry unit attack, legion attack, and, oh man, when you get to 5 and 6 stars, you reduce your damage taken by 7.5% and increase your damage dealt by 7.5%. That's really powerful. Another artifact that we can get a look at is the Rattle Spear. Rattle Spear seems really powerful. I'll show you the max of this, by the way. Also, the marksman unit attack can go all the way to 40%. Holy cow. I think that's related to the level, okay, that you can take this thing to, which is now higher, I believe, in this season. But let's see here. We get a look. And deals damage to 1 enemy legion in a forward arc. Strikes 3 times. Each strike has a short charge up. The direction of each strike can change slightly each time. And it does 2,500 damage factor, but inflicts a slow of 20% for 3 seconds. And there's a passive. When your legion inflicts a defense break on the enemy, you gain defense penetration, ignoring 20% of their defense for 7 seconds. Okay, well, I mean, this seems like a great item for Nico, who's all about the defense break. That's insane. Also, Kanara has talents, I believe, that does a defense break. So the 2 together could actually be really insane. The Rattle Spear seems really good. And this event, from what I can tell, you're just spending gems to get draws here. And we can look at the probability. It's a 1.5155% chance. And there's no pity. So, like, you could get lucky or you could get wrecked. Like, I maxed my dragon scale armor just like days ago on my main account, my whaled account. And like, I could get really unlucky and get Dragon Scale Armor, or I could get really unlucky and get Karada's Wrath or Ancient Tree Roots or the Wolf Woman of Healer. Like, you could get absolutely decimated here. At least some of these are good. Like, Sorlin's Blade is good, Phoenix Eye is good. But the good news, I suppose, is that in Season 2, you'll need excess legendaries to star up to 6 stars on a legendary artifact, which is kind of insane. By the way, while I'm here in my beta account, there are so many things to show you for Season 2. You can now go to 6 stars. The effect of that, by the way, is giving attack resistance. So your resistance to the enemy's attack of 5% and defense penetration. So ignoring 5% of the enemy's defense when you go to 6 stars. It is a ridiculous amount of stars, hundreds of stars, to go to level 40, and like, I want to say like 400 stars or so, maybe more, to go to level 50. It's a lot of stars. That's what I'm trying to say. To get the level 40, which is 5 stars, and the level 50, you can jump up to 6 stars on a hero. It's a lot. You'll want to do this on your best heroes, and I need to find out how that works with your primary hero and your secondary hero. I would assume that if both your primary and secondary are starred up, that means you'd have a total of 10% attack resistance and 10% defense penetration, but I don't know if that's true or not, and that actually is really important to distinguish, because if it doesn't work that way, then you'd only want to do this on the primary hero, so I'll have to take the homework assignment of figuring that out. I think, however, for now, this video was long enough. If you enjoyed it, throw a like on here and consider subscribing for Call of Dragons videos designed to help you get value and smash your enemies. I'm looking forward to smashing my way into Season 2 on my whaled 70 million power account very, very soon. You're not going to want to miss my playing these events, unlocking these commanders, and testing them out as we start to work toward expertising them. So consider subscribing. Again, if you haven't already, throw a like on the video. And if you want to see the video where I pulled artifacts for the Dragon Scale Armor as I was describing, card will be in the end screen for that in just a second.